Hey, so we are back here and doing some Skate 3 modding. So, um, for the last, I don't know, week, 2 weeks, since I uploaded my other videos here, I have been figuring out how to mod the level slash map slash park um, textures on Skate 3, and I figured it out yesterday. And so yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. So, but before you watch this video, you're gonna have to watch like the first 8 minutes, the first 8 minutes of my video about um, how to mod Skate 3 for PlayStation 3 slash RPCS3. Um, there is an introduction there on how to unpack the files so you get to this point where I am right now. And have the files in the right location so the game runs them from unpacked files. Okay, so go and watch that first if you haven't already, and then come back. So, yeah, so let's start. So, when you have in world here, when your big files are gone here, since you unpacked them, right? Um, and you have the stream folder with all the parks here in it, right? I also added the some DLC parks and stuff to run. But yeah, so when you have this right here, and you want to mod one of these parks, what you do is you choose what park. I want to mod the black box park. So I'm going to go into that folder, and in here you're going to have these files right here, right? Well, not that one, but the other ones right here. So these. Okay. So first off, what you want to do is you want to create a folder called backup and put all the files in here and make a backup of everything, unless if you fuck something up. Um, when you have a backup, now you want to create something called extracted, just a folder called extracted, right? And then you also want to create a folder called modded, where you keep your modded files in the future, and also you want to put quick BMS in here for easy access. I will provide this version of quick BMS with uh, some of Luigi's scripts, some of my scripts here. I made the compressor, decompressor, and the renamer here. And the other ones are made by the community or Luigi from the ZenHacks forum. So, yeah, let's get started. So what you want to do is you want to unpack these files. So you're going to choose here, what do I want to mod? Well, I want to mod textures. And textures are going to be in ctex, in these ctex .xsf files. They're also going to be in cpress xsf files. Usually what you're looking for is going to be in cpress global, which is going to have the highest sort of resolution textures out of them. These are level streaming files. So, but yeah, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to mod the files in cpress global. So how we do that is we go into quick BMS, we start the tool, then we go to scripts in quick BMS, and we go to skate 3. Let's see, I'm just going to make sure I have. So yeah, in extracted, what you want to do first before you really do anything is you want to make a folder and call it the same thing. So you want to make a folder, right? And then you want to copy the name of the XSF file. So cpress global. And then you want to call it that. like that. Okay, I already have one of them, so I'm just going to use that. Also, you're going to want to get the Skate 3 texture bundler and put it in here too, also for easy access. So I'll provide a link to this as well in the description. But yeah, so what we want to do is in QuickBMS, we want to select the Skate 3 XSF 0.3.1 or 0.3. For you, it's going to be, I guess, 0.3.1 if you got the script off of the Aloigi page. I guess his is actually just called XSF. So that one. Mine is the same thing, but just a little bit of a different name. Okay, so you're going to use this script. Hit open. Then you go back to the parks files here. Then you get the global file. Double click it. And then you go to the extracted folder and to the global folder. And you hit save. And that is going to give you these files here. Okay. So when this is done and it tells you to press enter or close to quit, you just do that. And then you go into this folder. And in here you're going to see files, but they are not going to have the correct file names. But I made a script to fix that to make it easier for us. So what you want to do is make basically a folder for now, call it renamed, and then go back, go into QuickBMS, start it, and go to scripts, and then go to RX2 renamer. Start that script, then go into extracted, global, and then you want to select all of these files that you extracted. Select all of them, and then go into the renamed folder and hit save. That is now going to rename them to have the correct names. So just to make sure they are renamed, you would go into extracted, global, renamed, and now they have the correct name. And that is going to look like 0x blah blah blah, something like that, .rx2. Okay, so they have the correct names, so we can find the files and use the names here to know what we're looking for in the future. Okay, what we can do now is just delete the unrenamed files, basically, and do Control-All, copy, just copy them in here and remove the renamed folder. So now we have these. Right. Then what you want to do is you want to make a folder in here and call it compressed. And that is where we want to put the compressed files that we have modified. So just to make things easier as well, make a folder, call it backup in here. Back all of these up. I guess you could have just named the renamed folder backup. So yeah, too late now. Okay, so copy them into backup, and there we go. So you have a backup of all of these files. Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to get the textures out of this. So how we do that is we use Noesis and my script that I made for Noesis. I'll provide all of this in the description as always. And yeah, you just start Noesis. You go in here in the side panel. You find the directory. So world, stream, black box, extracted, global, and yeah, here they are. So we find find the folder here where we have the RX2 files. Click one of the files to indicate that it's an RX2 file that we want to batch export. Then we click Tools and Batch Process. Now it's going to say RX2 here. For the other one, we just type TGA, which is a target file. And then what you want to do here is that right there is if you want to create folders for each file. We don't want to do that. So we're going to go from before the backslash until the dollar sign basically, and delete that so it looks just like this. Okay, and then we want to click folder batch, and it's already going to be selected because we've selected it in here. So just hit OK and hit export, and that is going to export all of these textures. So you can see here it's batch exporting them, and it's done. Okay, now when that's done, we can basically do this and, well, I guess go back, sort by type, and then do that. And now we have the textures in here, and we can preview them. Not sure why these aren't showing up. Like, I mean, if we open them up though, you'll see them. But let's see, just gonna make sure that, yeah, everything's correct here. Yep. Okay, so now that we have the textures here, we want to find a texture that we want to mod. And let's say we want to mod this texture. No, let's not do that one. I'm sorry. I want to find something that's a little bit more fun. Okay, let's do this one. So, if we want to mod this one, by the way, I would advise you to get Paint.net. It's a great tool, just saying. So you can open these files and edit them on the fly without having to use stuff like Photoshop that is, takes time to boot up, and it isn't as fast to fuck around with. So yeah. But if you want to mod this, what you can do is just load up another texture. And right now this file is 512 times 512. Okay. If you want another texture in here, just take another texture, boot it up, and resize it, and then paste it over this one. But for now, I am just gonna paint a little bit on. Oh my god, dude. I don't know why it's so laggy right now. I think it's because I have another tool open that does this to the let's check. Yeah. It's this tool right here, EVGA Precision. Let me close this down for now and open it back up. There is some weird interference between those, so if you see now, it's fine. Okay, so let's call that a mod, right? Or let's do this. So now that's modded. Boom. Hit save, 32-bit, not compressed, so don't click that. And if it's already compressed for you, don't untick it basically. And then just hit OK. And that's going to save the file. Now we can close that down. And here you go. You can see the file right here. So now what we want to do is we want to take this file and make it back into one of these files, which is an RX2 file. Okay, so how we do that is we copy that file that we modded. We go back, I think, or did I already have that in here? Yes, I did. Okay, so we just copied it, right? And what we want to do now is go into Skate 3 texture bundler that I had in the same folder, and copy the file into here. Now, rename it to 1. We already have one of those, so I'm going to remove that one. So rename that to 1. Okay, just check that it's the same file. Yep. Okay, so now, first off, we are going to want to know the dimensions of this. And this file is 512 times 512. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up skate3.rdf with, oh, it opened up in another window here. Just give me a second. Okay, here we go. So we're going to open that up. And in here, we have a few different things. Right? That's the source name. That's the name, in the file that we create. That is the format, is the width, the height, and the levels. So for you, I don't know, if you have this tool already, it's going to say 9 here. But what you want to do is you want to change it to 1. So do that first. Change this to 1. And then, if the width and height is something different, set them to what the texture was, which was, in this case, also 512 times 512. And now, the tricky part, it isn't that tricky, but, you know, the next part, basically, is the format. How do we know the format? Well, we open up a hex editor, like that, okay? Then, we are going to want to find the name of the file base. Let's see, I'm just going to find it in here. That's the one. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the name here and I'm going to type it in up here so that I get the RX2 file as well. And I have that right here. I don't know why it says that there are two. Oh yeah, one of them is in the backup. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop this. And now we have the RX2 file for that picture open in a hex editor. And to know what format this is, we look down here. Okay, so if, let me think here for a second. So if it says 52 or R right here, so on offset, let's see what offset this is. This is offset 167. If you go to offset 167 in the hex editor, so drag like that until you get to 167, right, which is this one. If this says 52, it's a DXT1. If it says 53, it's a DXT3. And if it says 54, it is a DXT5. But there are also other formats, and I am going to take a quick look here in the source for. So that is that. Let's go into another. I'm just going to go off screen here and find the source. So just bear with me. It's just going to take a minute. So what I got to do now basically is find what command to input for the newer formats that I just found recently. So let's see. There we go. Source. Okay. So I'm just going to open up the source for the bundler, and okay. So I think in base texture here, yeah, in base texture. So, oh yeah, this right here. So, if you were to find, if it were to say 44, so I'm going to put that to the side here. I'm going to open this up. So on this offset, if it were to say 44 in the RX2 file here that you want to mod, it's going to be this format right here. You're going to type this out. So R5 G6 B5. So basically copy. Actually, well, you're not going to have this, but I'm going to make a little. I'm going to make a file with the ones that Skate 3 uses, so you can copy and paste and provide that. So just type that out. R5 G6 B5. If it were to say 44, but now since it says 52, we're going to do DXT1. I guess I could say. I guess there's another couple formats. You know what? I'm just going to put a lookup file. I'm just going to put a file in the description here that you can download and look at, you know, what these represent. So I don't have to fuck around with this right now. But yeah. So this time it's a DXT1 because it says 52. So because we know that, we will go in to the bundler here, and we will open the RDF file, and we will type dxt1 right here. Okay, and we save it. It's already saved. Everything is right for this texture, thank God. And then to pack this into an XPR file like that one, I can remove that. What you want to do is you want to just copy this right here, not the dot text, but the rest of that, or you can open it like that and it'll say the same thing. I just put it in the name so I can just click and Control C, and then up here you're going to type CMD. That is going to boot up CMD in this directory. Then you hit Control V and boom, it's done. Now you can close that and you're going to have an XPR file. Okay, so open up the hex editor, drag and drop the XPR file, and in here now, you're going to want to go down first to the bottom. Well, towards not the bottom, but you want to scroll down towards the bottom. And when you get to this offset, which is 800C, right here, you're going to see 800 and then 800C. You want to start right there. Basically, put your marker right here, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom. Hold Shift, click right at the bottom, and that will now highlight everything. And the length here is 2000. So we want to have this highlighted. Now we want to go back into the original file, which is the RX2 file that we want to mod. Now look at offset 238. So on Xbox, it's going to be 238. On PlayStation, it's going to be 248. But this process does not work for PlayStation at all, so don't even try it. But yeah, so go to offset 238 in this file and highlight it, and then scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to see this file is 3000. Okay, right, but we are going to make the correct changes, so the game reads it anyway and thinks it's a shorter file, or it's, you know, it thinks it's a native file basically. So you're going to want to delete all of that, so you just have the 238 long header here. Then you want to copy the data from this, from offset 800C to the end. Copy that into here, Control V. So the length now is going to be the length of this data plus 238, so 20,238. And then you hit save. Go back up to the top, and now we want to change a few values because this file that we created is smaller. So what you want to change is the size and also the tiling and the mip maps, like the levels basically for the file. And that starts right after in this file, right? The XPR file, it's going to start at this offset, 68. And then it's going to be 8 bytes forward. So it's going to be all the way to the end of the 60 offset here. So those 8 bytes, you want to copy those first. Go into the RX2 file. Now you want to find the same thing, but in this file. So you go down here until you get to offset 167, right? Where we have the format. And then you're going to go forward, right? From there, 9 forward, right? Or, well, you can start after it, after the 52, and then you go 8 forward. Okay, you're going to see there OD10, but then the next line right here, so 170. At 170 offset in the RX2, you want to basically hit Control B, not Control V, because that's going to add the files. Control B is going to overwrite everything. So if you look at this file now, it's going to say 00000240 and then a value. if you click Control B, boom, it's going to change that value. And now, when the game reads this file, it's going to tile it correctly, and it's going to know how many levels the file uses, and not basically just it's not going to load the old way. It's not going to use the old levels. So yeah, so now we save that, and when that's saved, now we want to change the size. So the game has to think. The game looks for the size of the file. Okay, so we want to make sure that the game knows what size it's looking for, and the offsets for that is 54 right here. So offset 54, you're going to see 00, 03, 00, 00. And if you look at that, that's actually like right here, that's 30,000. 30000. So basically that's 30,000 length. Okay, so you want to take the length from this file, right? So you want to know how long is this file, right? And the length for this file, I think, is the one you find right here. So it should be offset 8, but don't take my word for it. Instead, what you want to do is go down to 800C, go down all the way to the bottom, highlight everything, and you'll see the length, which is going to be 20,000. Okay, so we want to make this 20,000. So that's going to be, we're going to basically have the cursor right here at 54. Then we're going to do 00, 02, 00, 00. And that is now 20,000. Okay, so save that. The next change is going to be at offset 1E0 right here. That is also going to be the size. So right here, 00, 02, 00, 00, because it's the new file is 20,000. And that is actually all the changes we need to make right now to this file. So what we want to do now is this file is done, but we need to compress the data that starts from right here at 238 to the end. That needs to be compressed with the refpack algorithm compression. So I made a script for that for quick BMS, so that'll be pretty easy. So remember where you have the file, I guess. You can, I don't know, copy the file name, whatever, so you know what file you changed, right? Oh yeah, by the way, make sure you change the file that is in here and not the backup. I just thought of that I might have opened the backup before because I couldn't see, the location, but I changed the right file. So I'm just going to copy the name here of that, the one that I changed. And now we want to compress it. So we're going to go out to Quick BMS and start it, run the script called skate3 rx2 dk2 compressor. Okay. And then go back to extracted, global. Then here you want to find the one that you want to mod. And I copied the name, so all I do here is paste it. And it's going to give me, the file here. I just really wish I knew exactly which one which one it was, because I guess it's this one, because this is the one I changed last. If you check here, I'm not. Oh, there. If you hold long enough, it'll tell you. And yeah, this is the one in CPress Global. And if I hold here, it should tell me that this is in backup. No. Yeah. Okay, there. Backup. Okay, so this one is the one you want to change. So open this one up as the input, and then go to compressed and hit save. And that is going to give you the file with a file name here, and then call it compressed. So just close this down, go back to extracted, global, compressed. And here you have the file, but compressed. So if you open this up now in a hex editor, you'll see here is the original and here is the compressed file. If you look down here on the data, it looks different. And they are of a different size. So if we start here and we go to the end, you're going to see that this is 18,000 long, while this is 20,000 long. So let's see. So yeah, okay. So now what we want to do is we want to open up the compressed file. We can close the uncompressed file, and then we can close the XPR. So when you have the compressed file right here, have it open in the hex editor, and then you go out to global. No, wait. You go out. Oh yeah, you go out here and you find the actual XSF file. So cpress global.xsf. What you want to do is you want to take that, drag and drop it into the hex editor right here, and then open up the compressed file and get at offset right here 1AC. Just copy the full name here. So from the 0x blah 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 all the way to the texture, copy that, go into cpress global, go search, find, and then string, and then search all. Here you go. You're going to find one value here. And this is now going to be the file that you want to change. But first off, what we want to do is we want to start at basically go to the top here where you see, or go here where you see RW4XB2. So then right before it, it's going to say 89, and that's where you want to start, right there. So start right there, and then you're going to want to scroll down. So just scroll down slowly until you see right here that it changed basically. Okay. So you're going to want to find the end of the file. And the end of the file is going to be where it says something like 000000FC or something similar. It's not going to be this right here, which a lot of people are going to assume at first, but it's not. It's going to be the 000000FC or BC or whatever it's going to say right here. You'll learn basically to know where, but if you want to know for sure that you're in the right location, what you do is you go back up here, and then above RW4 XP2 right here, if you go up 30 offsets right here, you are going to see the size for the uncompressed file. And then after that, you're going to see the size of the compressed file. Okay? So the compressed file is going to be 29,060 long. So if we start at where the data is, right here, right? If we start where the data is and then go and do, let's see, select block and then do length, then 29,060. And then I guess that's it. Yeah, then you hit OK. That is now going to select the actual length of the file, which it did. As you can see, it's stopped at 000000FC. Okay, and it was actually, we were actually at the wrong file down there. I went too far down. So that's why you want to do this method, I guess, to get the actual length here. Okay, so what you want to do now is look at that length, and then look at the length of this file, right? Make sure now that this file that we created is smaller in length. Okay, you can see it's way smaller. That means that this is going to work. In 99.99% of cases, it's going to work. I have only seen once that it didn't work, and that was on an extremely tiny file that was super compressed already. But I mean, it was so tiny, it was just a mip map, so it wasn't worth replacing anyway. It was 16 by 16 pixels, but yeah. So now you just want to take this entire file. So Control A to highlight everything, then Control C, and in the compressed file, go into the global file, go back up here to where this starts, and you see this is going to start at RV or at this sign right here. So at 89 right there at the start of the header, you're going to highlight before the header starts, right? Which you can see because that's what it says. Okay, and it's just going to be a couple. So I guess when you search for the name, it's going to be, let's see how many you have to go up. So A1C up from where the texture name starts is where you want to start. So right here. And then all you want to do is you want to copy this, right? And hit Control B, not V, but B to overwrite. Okay. Click there again and Control B. Okay, so now you're going to see that there is going to be more data in here. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to fill this until the end of this file now. We want to fill that with zeros. So we're going to highlight right after where the copied file starts, basically. So right here, and then just scroll down. Just scroll down until we get to where the file ends. Okay, right here. So right here is where the file ends, the 000000FC. It can look different, but usually that's what it looks like. So that's why we looked before what it looked like, and now we know because we already looked at the ending here before. So yeah, highlight all of that, go to edit, go to fill selection, and then where it says hex value or hex values, just type 00, and then hit OK. That's going to fill all of that with zeros. Okay, now we save and we go back up. When we are back up here, the only thing we need to change now, because we replaced the entire file, the only thing we need to change is going to be these values right here. Let me just think here for a second. So, I don't think, I think you need to change them. I know this one needs to be changed. So change this to the new value, right? So the new value is going to be the size that we put in here at offset 50, or 54, sorry, 54. So basically 00, 02, 00, 00. We want to do the same thing. So where the texture started, right here at the RB4, you want to go up 30 in length. And that's where you're going to find the uncompressed size. And that is going to be 00, 02, 00, 00. Save that. And then what you can do is make a backup now of this file, because this should work now, but sometimes it might not work this way. And what you want to do then, I would advise doing this anyway, but try both methods, is to take, you want the compressed size as well. So right here is where the compressed size is, okay? And that's the old compressed size. The new compressed size is going to be, if you go to offset 238 again, on the compressed file, go all the way to the bottom and check the length. 1835B. 1835B. So we want to make it 0001835B. Like that. right? And then we save. And now we have the right compressed size and also the correct decompressed size. Um, let's see. So that's the size, and here we also have the size, and that's correct. And we also have the size down below the name, right there, and that is also correct. So yeah, right now, if you run this, the game will see it just fine, and you'll have the custom texture. Um, yeah, that's actually it. It's not for I mean this took a while, but it only takes about 3-4 minutes when you do it like without actually explaining stuff. It doesn't take very long at all, and I'm working on a tool for it, so it'll be way quicker in the future. But yeah, when you just do this normally, it doesn't actually take that long. So don't be discouraged by the length of the video, really. That is only um, because I'm explaining stuff. So yeah, I guess that's it. Um, now you know how to replace things. Just make sure that when you replace these things that you don't overwrite this, right? These are values that basically um, the level streamer, or it's hard to explain, but the game looks for these values. It looks for these. It's basically, I think a lot of these has to do with its coordinates and its lengths of it. Basically, your character checks around, where he is in the world location, and when you get closer and closer to this, it'll load this texture. Um, so yeah, it's and if you overwrite this, I've done that before, your game will be completely corrupt. It'll start and it'll load the map, but it will only load up until this point, and then it will be in an infinite loop where it tries to load this but can't. So make sure you never overwrite any of these right here that are in between the files. So yeah, that's why I always check the length at the beginning there. Um, I mean, this is a pretty long process, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But watch the steps over and over. Just watch them, and you know, one by one, just do it the same way, but with different files. Start with maybe this file, the same thing, and then try with different files, and just do the same thing. Do exactly what I'm saying, and you're gonna get it in time. Um, but yeah, it's when you see it, like I guess when you see it like this, it's gonna look fucking horrible. But yeah, it works at least. So, oh yeah, I actually think I have a texture. Um, I'm not sure if. Yeah, this is the one. So right here, this is a mod I did. A new door here. Uh, the floor in here is different, and I put a logo, Guitar Hero logo, right there. Um, so yeah, this is what you can do basically. Replace the entire textures for stuff. It's pretty cool. So yeah, and as you know from before, you don't have to repack the um, the files and such. You can just run the game off of unpacked files. Um, yeah, there isn't that much more to it. I'm just rambling right now. I'm thinking about if there's anything I left out, but I don't think so. I don't think so, man. So yeah, that's it. Um, but yeah, if it were to happen that it won't load, right? When you changed these 4 bytes right here, if it doesn't load when you did that, just change them back. Um, right, change them back to what they were. So just get back up and look the original up and paste it back in here. But it should load like this. But if it doesn't, just use the original for the compressed size here. So yeah, that's about it. I guess I could go over in the end here the values again. So in the RX2 files, on offset 54, you have the size of the data, the texture data. On offset 1E0, you also have the size for the texture data. On offset 167, you have the format. And 52 is DXT1, 53 is DXT3, 54 is DXT5, and 44 is going to be, what is it? Like R5, G6, B5 or something like that. And then there are other ones too, but I'm going to make you look up for that. And then after that, we haven't really messed around with this, but this right here after, that's the basically the size of the image, like 512 times 512 or 212 times 700 and blah blah blah, you know, basically the width and height. But we haven't touched on that yet, so don't care about that. And then offset 170 forward here. So these, right, these here, they are basically settings for how many levels. So these are the ones you want to change when you change the levels to 1. Let's see. I guess that's about it for this. And then here we have the name of the texture. So that's what you want to search for and stuff. So you can just copy this from, you know, when you want to find this texture inside the global, you copy this name and search for it in here. Search for string, right? Like that. The last thing I want to go over, what is that? Oh yeah. And then after that, in global. So when you find where the texture starts and you've pasted it and you've also put zeros after the new texture until the end of the old texture, and saved, right? You also want to go up 30 offsets, right? 30 bytes basically up here until you get basically 3 rows above the start of the texture, 3 rows up, and you want to change that to the size, to the new size of this texture. And then you also can and probably should change this to the new size of the compressed data, which you find by starting at 238 in the compressed file and going all the way down and checking the length. That's how you get the size of that, or the length of the compressed data. So you just put that right here, and yeah, that's about it, actually. There ain't that much to it. I think that's it. Yeah. So that should be enough. Just go out there and modify these goddamn files, and if you have any problems, just post them, comment, and I will see what I can do. But yeah, thank you for watching. Making these videos is great, you know, just getting the information out there so that other people can make stuff too. I've been making some stuff for the last couple weeks here, and it takes time, you know, and it's hard, but if there's more people making cool shit, then, you know, the load is sort of divided, so it's just easier for everyone. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.